Good day, Cherry Blossom family, and welcome back to another edition of What the Hemp Wednesday, where we cover all news events, not all news events, but we cover our fair share of news events that have happened in the last week or so that affect the hemp and cannabis industry. And today, we're going to start with Maryland. Maryland's medical marijuana industry in April reached more than $1 billion in total retail sales since its launch in December of 2017. That's 1 billion with a big old B. The second billion, they said, will take half that time to reach. And that is predicted by the Maryland Medical Cannabis Commission Executive Director, Mr. William Tilburg. Quarterly sales of cannabis or dispensary sales were about 60.5 million in 2019 and nearly doubled in 2020 to 115 million. And sales in the first 3 months of 2021 have already surpassed 135 million. If you don't think that the pandemic has had an effect on hemp and cannabis sales since then, I mean, you just heard the numbers. Boom, it's right there. So, and they think they're going to be getting more. So that's pretty good news for Maryland, and pretty good news for its patients in the system. Valens, that is a British Columbia-based company, purchased Green Roads. Green Roads is really a pretty big player in the hemp industry. They're a Florida-based CBD manufacturer. The transaction was a $40 million purchase. That is $25.4 million in common shares and $14.6 million in cash. Green Roads, they are a privately owned company. They make oils, they make topicals, they do some concentrates, pet products, flour, coffee, gummies. So okay, they really do over 2 different factories down there in Florida, mostly B2B. So they're really this is really impressive. So this is getting Valens prepared to get into the medical marijuana market in the United States when that happens. Well, speaking of that market, the US Postal Service is delaying the PACT Act, and the PACT Act was a ban on sending vape products by mail. The agency says it needs more time to review how to implement the changes ordered by Congress. This happened at one of the last pieces of legislation with the Trump administration in December of 2020. And basically it's saying that the Postal Service will not deliver vape products or vapable products. That means the oils inside, the hardware, anything connected to, which seems a little excessive. And the intent of this is to curb direct online sales, especially to children, and is actually aimed at nicotine-based products, but it is really impacting the hemp and cannabis industry. So I think the industries are kind of coming back at the Postal Service and saying, hey, this is really going to have some damaging effects, especially on small companies like ourselves. So according to spokesperson David P. Coleman, spokesperson of the Postal Service, despite our best efforts in order to ensure thorough and thoughtful consideration of complex issues and voluminous comments by the industry, individual, and governmental stakeholders, the post office is unable to publish a final rule by today's target date. That day was Monday of this week. The ban was supposed to take effect. So they said the rule, they should be finalizing the rule as soon as possible, and mailers should be fully prepared for implementation upon publication at any given time. So we'll keep our eyes posted on that, because that's really big and that impacts a lot of people, and a lot of your probably favorite brands as well. New York's Native American community is trying to get into the recreational marijuana business. The Shinnecock Indian Nation on Long Island plans to build a marijuana growing facility with hopes of beginning sales later this year. And also another, St. Regis Mohawk tribe in northern New York has proposed a similar ordinance to regulate adult use medical marijuana. Apparently what's happening is that the tribal community seem to have the right under federal law to cultivate and sell marijuana on their land. Now, in Native American, if so, these Native Americans could be the first to sell recreational marijuana in New York, even to non-Native Americans. caveat is that the non-Native Americans can only buy the legal amount and not take the marijuana from the territory. So maybe they have made a whole new industry kind of going in there. Who knows? Go and play and party on the reservation. That may be coming sometime in the next couple years, but it's going to take a couple months, 12 to 18 months for New York to get their legalization efforts off the ground. Lastly, we're looking to Florida. There's still more investigation into Congressman Matt Gaetz. In this, the federal investigators are looking into whether it took gifts in exchange for politically influencing medical marijuana policy. And that's in addition to some other things with some more sensitive issues with young girls and things like that. So we'll see how that plays out. But Matt Gaetz he's got his hands full with legal issues right now. We'll keep you posted on how that is impacting our industry. Apparently, it has to some degree. And keeping with Florida, their Supreme Court has said no to adult use medical marijuana in the future. So, I mean, for this year, for 2021, perhaps 2022 might see a little bit different. So that's it. I know it was a little long today. We brought you a lot of stories. So thank you for hanging with us. I was about 6 minutes. Usually try to keep it to like 5 or under. But thank you so much. We'll see you next week with some more exciting news on medical marijuana industry. And also, for any of those guys, any of you companies out there who are looking to get a little extra pub, PR, what have you, send us a comment. We're starting a program on how we can promote your company on What the Hemp Wednesday. But put a comment in and we'll or DM us, and we will reach back out to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and we'll see you in a couple days. Bye.